slide, please. Okay. Just a reminder that today's presentation is for educational purposes only. Final rates, products, or services should be confirmed with an American Airlines Credit Union representative at the time of service. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our amazing presenter, Morgan Rogers. Morgan has worked in the Business Services Department at American Airlines Credit Union for 9 years. She says her favorite part of the job is building meaningful relationships with our members while helping them to achieve their financial and business goals. She is a self-professed Swiftie and knows most of her songs. Lastly, Morgan is a wife and a mother to her 2-year-old daughter and her fur baby. Morgan, I'll check in with you for our poll questions, but for now, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Anna, for that introduction. So let's get started today. Here on the screen, you can see today's agenda for our presentation. Today is all about how to establish goals, develop a business plan, and leverage technology to help grow and build your small business. And we'll also save some time along the way for questions and some interactive polling questions for you to participate in along the way. So let's get started. So once your small business is established, you can start setting goals. The next few slides, we will go over how to set goals using the SMART method that you can easily apply as a tool to create, track, and meet your small business goals. So setting goals is just as important to growing your small business, but it's also just as important to actually follow through on the goals. So you want to set these goals and have a process on how to follow through for yourself. So using this method that we'll discuss as a starting point will help you if you're reestablishing a business plan or creating an outline for your small business going forward. So before we jump into our main presentation, we have our first polling question. So I will turn it back over to Anna and Sutton.
So this first poll question here, what goals do you have for your small business?
And just to chime in that this is a short answer, so feel free to drop whatever your goal is into the chat box, in the Slido chat box. We already have one answer. Someone said make a profit, which is, I think everyone can relate to that one. Yeah, I don't see any other, or someone else is typing, but Morgan, what is your most common answer when people come to you for help?
Sure. So definitely make a profit. That is a great goal. To have some other goals that our business members have brought up to me is how to reach their target customers, how to get their business name out there, also how to track their growth overall. So using, the bookkeeping systems, things to that effect. All really great goals. Maybe how to use social media to grow your business.
Yeah, we've had some other people chiming in right now. Someone said build my network, marketing. And yeah, so that looks like about all of our answers. Morgan, we'll pass it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you all for participating. So let's get back to our presentation today. So setting our goals. So setting SMART goals for your small business that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely can help achieve long-term success. So the SMART acronym that you see on the screen, it really is a great method to chart your small business goals. So let's go over some real-world examples to apply to the SMART goals to your small business to get started with planning. So let's start with specific. So make sure you're setting specific goals to state your desired outcome that is clearly understood. So define what will be accomplished and what actions will be taken to measure the accomplish and how you're going to accomplish the goal. Up next is measurable. So these are the numbers that come into play. So the numbers that are used with the goal for tracking purposes. So you can set goals using numbers that you can easily track progress. Up next is achievable. So these goals need to be realistic. So having big goals is great, but make sure that you really want to think about maybe breaking them down into smaller, more doable goals to really set yourself up for success. Relevant. So these goals should align with your mission for the business and they should benefit the business. And lastly, time bound. So goals should have a deadline. A goal without a set deadline doesn't really help track your progress. So how would you know if you're successful when you can move along to your next goal? So make sure you have a set deadline. So some examples that I can bring up, kind of talked about the goals that our participants entered in. So some SMART goals you can set. A lot of members could even use this as an example. So my goal is to grow the small business social media page followers by 100 over the next 6 months. So this is a SMART goal because it is clear, uses numbers, it's realistic, benefits your business, and has a deadline. Let's move along. So how to follow through on your goals. So once you get an idea of several SMART goals to set, it's very important to follow through on these goals that you have set for yourself. So tips to keep business owners on track to complete these short-term and long-term goals include creating a written outline. This written outline of your goals could also be displayed within everyday eyesight, and that will really help keep your eyes on the prize. So also consider sharing these goals with any relevant business partners, owners, or team members, or a supportive person. So share these goals with your support system. So this will really help set the tone for accountability and provide support along the way. It's important to have these goals written to conduct weekly, monthly, or even yearly check-ins to see how you're doing on the progress of your small business goals. With your regular check-ins, you can track the progress and take a look at areas that you might want to put more focus on. Also, don't forget to celebrate the wins. So with your regular check-ins, don't be afraid to give yourself a big pat on the back if you are steadily progressing to achieving your goals or if you have hit a well-earned milestone. So after establishing your small business goal setting, the next step is to line out an effective business plan around the goals you have created. All right, so this brings us to polling question number 2, so I will turn it back over to Anna and Sutton.
Poll question number 2. Where are you in your small business journey? Is it A, my small business is up and running? B, I'm in the process of setting up a business? And C, I haven't started yet, but I'm here for more information. Let us know which one of this corresponds to you.
We already have some answers coming in from our attendees. Some of the people are saying B, I'm in the process of setting up my business, or C, I haven't started yet. Yeah, more people are answering B. And just a reminder that your answers today will not be, we won't say them, which is fully to get a pulse of the room. And if you're tuning in on a mobile device, you may need to swipe left or right on your screen to see the questions and answers. Yeah, right now with all of our attendees, it's a split, Morgan, between B and C. So we'll hand it back over to you.
Awesome. So you're in the right place. So this is some great information if you're in the process or haven't started yet to really just get an idea of what kind of business you'd like to start and the goals that you can start setting for yourself. And we'll also have time towards the end of the presentation for questions. So if you have any questions on how to start the application for a new business account or what's all involved, definitely feel free to drop those in the chat, in the questions, and we'll also provide our direct contact information for business services, so you can reach out after the presentation for more detailed questions. All right, so now that we have discussed how to set and follow through on goals for your small business, let's dive a little bit deeper on how to use your goals to create an effective business plan. There are several free online templates you can even check out, or you can even create your own business plan outline. So let's just go over the bare basic business plans to get you started. So up first is the overview. So you can start the first section of your business plan with a cover page titled Overview. This will give a basic understanding of what your company does and the structure of the company. So also list where you are conducting business, including physical locations, addresses, mailing addresses, physical place where you actually run your business. That being said, if you're running a business and you're using a physical storefront, that would be that physical address. But if you're opting in to run it just a strictly online business, maybe from your home, that would be the address that you put on the page. But of course, you do not need to share your personal home address with customers. This location is primarily used for tax purposes, so use the address that you will use when you file or register your business with the entity documents. So up next is the second location you need to list on your business plan. Make sure to jot down the mailing address. So again, if you're running a business from your home, a really great option is to obtain a PO box as your mailing address, specifically for business mailing only. Businesses will need to have a published address. So using a PO box is a way, so you don't need to publish your home address online, of course. So now the last location that you need to list on your business plan is the address where customers can come and visit you. So if you're running a local business, the physical location, put that address. And then again, if it's an online only, that address can actually be your website because that is where customers can find you, can visit you. So if you already have an established small business, then all this information regarding the physical and mailing address information, this will all be listed on your business entity documents. You're going to need to know all this information when you go to file. So if you're creating a small business plan before establishing the small business, definitely check out some of our other webinars that we have on selecting the different business entity types to get you started. So up next, definitely jot down a brief description on what your business does. So what is your mission statement? So who are your customers? What product or service will you sell to your customers? Also, what is the value of the product to your customers? What is your company's mission? So I know that's a lot of different questions, but you can just write those questions down and then sit down and answer them for yourselves. And that'll really help you create what your mission plan is for your small business. And also look back on the SMART goals that you outlined to develop a clear company mission. So now this mission does not need to be complicated at all. It can be simple and evolve over time. So some questions that you can write down and answer for yourself include, who are your customers? What is the purpose of your product or service you are selling? How does this product or service solve a problem, or what results does your small business create? And finally, on this section of your business plan, list your goals. So lastly, the financial and marketing planning, this information can be added once you have an established business. So this is tracking all the bookkeeping, profits. These items can be important to have all recorded for potential investors or business partners. All right, so that brings us to our third polling question. So I will take a quick pause here and turn it right back over to Anna and Sutton.
Poll question number 3. What is the most common business entity type in the US? Is it A, an LLC? Is it B, a partner, a general partnership? C, sole proprietorship? or is it D, a corporation? Let us know what you think.
Yes, the answers are starting to come in. Like I said, I don't remember the answer to this one. I'd have to guess what I'm seeing so far that A, LLC is the most popular answer, and that's what I also think. So, while Morgan, I guess, while some of the attendees finish out voting, can you tell us the right answer?
Sure. So the answer is actually C. The most common type of business structure for small businesses is a sole proprietorship. And this is essentially because this is the easiest business structure to form with the least amount of paperwork or government regulation. But next, limited liability companies or LLCs seem to be the next most common option for small businesses in the US.
Awesome, sweet. Well, thank you, Morgan. And guys, the Q&A chat is also open. So if you have any more questions or anything like that, we will address them at the end of the presentation.
All right, thank you very much. And we will jump back into the rest of our presentation today. So now that we've gone over how to set goals and write an effective business plan, let's dive into leveraging technology to grow your small business. So we will discuss small business bookkeeping, basics on how to build a brand, and how to reach your target customers. So up first, let's talk about your finances for your business. So using technology such as online business account banking, utilizing small business bookkeeping software can help you follow through on the goals that you have set and track your progress. An important step to set up for your small business finances. So this is very important to keep in mind. You will want to establish a business banking account. You will need to and want to keep your business finances separate from your personal financing. This is important to stay organized and also creates a separation as a form of protection for yourself. So kind of similar to the LLC. So when you need to open up a business savings and checking account, you'll need to establish this account to run all of your business transactions. So the money that you are paid from your business, paid for business expenses, and keeping your business funds separate from your personal life. So when it comes time to do your business taxes, having a separate business bank account will make filing easier by determining exactly how much your business earned in profits and how much it expensed. So credit unions are really a great business account option. Credit unions, small business accounts, and us at American Airlines Credit Union, we offer typically lower fees on deposit accounts and pay higher dividend rates compared to a traditional bank, while also offering up to $250,000 in NCUA insurance. So how to open a business account? Let's talk about the steps that you'll need and some information that you can have prepared when you're ready to open up the business bank account. So you can apply online at aacreditunion.org on our website to start the business account application, or give us a call at the credit union to get this started. So to open up a business account, you will need to complete all of the legal steps that we discussed when opening a business account. So filing with the Secretary of State, obtaining a tax ID number. So typically, we will require an EIN tax ID number, along with any of the business entity documents that you have filed with the state. So those are all documents that you will need to obtain and provide to open up a business bank account. So once you have your business bank account open, definitely give yourself a big pat on the back, because you are well on your way to financial success and organization for your small business. If you have any questions on how to open up a business account, feel free to drop them in the chat or reach out to us at the credit union at the business services contact information. And I will provide our direct contact information later on in the presentation. So once you have that business banking account established, You should look into what kind of bookkeeping software you would like to utilize to stay organized and track the growth to reach your small business goals. So there's some great news. There are many different options out there, including just starting out with your own simple spreadsheet. There's apps that you can use, and there's also a feature integrated with our online banking system at the credit union called Autobooks in our business marketplace. So this is bookkeeping system. So it's really important step to look into, because having a bookkeeping system in place tracks the different business transactions for your small business. So when you are first starting out, maybe you don't have very many transactions if you're just starting a small business. I really recommend that you just create a simple spreadsheet to track these transactions yourself. This way, it really keeps you hands-on with your bookkeeping and keeps you financially savvy. So during the early phases of starting your small business, consider what kind of bookkeeping system you will use to help create your small business goals and follow through by tracking your growth. So once your business is more established and maybe you have a higher volume of transactions, you might want to upgrade the bookkeeping system to more of a software program tool. Another option to consider is if you will work with a professional bookkeeper in the future, if things become a little bit more complicated down the line. When deciding right now, go with what makes the most sense to you. All right, let's move along to branding. So this next step we will talk about, it's not really legally required to start your small business, but it is important to consider what branding design you will select for your business. So branding means a lot of different things, but start with considering the visual design for your business similar to a logo. Consider the colors and fonts that you would like to use for overall feel. Customers in person and online will need a way to interact with your business by seeing your business. So, for example, if you have a physical storefront, you will need some kind of sign or branding, and your online website will also need these details. So having some sort of consistency in the look and brand of your business will give a more professional appearance that will attract your target customers. Give your small business a good first impression by designing a brand. You can decide to DIY it, so do it yourself. Some of us may look forward to coming up with a personal brand design, but others may opt to hire a professional designer. Most people will start a small business just starting out. You might have a limited budget, so just looking to save money, DIY is a really great option. Start out by getting inspired by other brands. This will give you an idea and help determine what you like and what you don't like. You can use simple design tools online to create a branding design, so get your hands dirty and start creating. So keep it simple and consistent to easily create a professional looking design for your branding. All right, so let's talk about one of the last steps. After you've decided on your branding, you can create a website. So even if you do not use online business, which most of us nowadays, most customers will want to visit you online, you should consider creating a business website. So most people will want to either do business with you online or at least find out a little bit more about your business before visiting your location. If someone wants to do business with you, set yourself up for success by making it as easy as possible to purchase your products or hire you. Creating a simple website for your business does not need to be super fancy or complicated at all. Simple is often the most effective. There are so many different website building platforms that you can choose from as well. So make sure you do some research on which website building platform is best for you. Again, keep it simple when it comes to how many pages the website is and how many you decide to add. Here on the screen, there is just a simple rundown of the different basic pages for your website that you should have for your customers to interact with you. So the homepage, which should consist of a rundown of your small business with an action button that can direct customers to where they want to go. Also include an about page, so get to know the business owner. What's the business all about? A shop page, so this is where customers can view your products and services to shop online. Also include a contact page, so this is how to reach the business for questions to get in touch with you. And also consider including a content page, so this is a way to share photos or videos from your business, and can include social media of your product services. So this is not necessary. There's a lot of successful small businesses that don't use the content marketing on social media, but it can be a super useful tool to reach and promote your business online. All right, so that was a lot of information there. So we'll take a quick pause here if there's any questions, and I'll turn it back over to Anna and Sutton.
Yeah, we only had one question in the queue. Morgan, someone asked about if their small business address could be a PO box, and yes, it can, right? Awesome. And then someone else asked in my personal queue, what other small business like PowerPoint presentations or webinars do you cover? What other topics?
Sure. So yes, that is correct. The PO box question, for on your outline and for tax purposes, you will need a physical address. But keep in mind, you don't need to share that address with customers. So you'll need a physical address, but you can also have a different mailing address that is just shared publicly. And these are items that will be listed on your business entity documents. So when you go to file or register your business, they will ask you each of those questions. So just kind of go ahead and have that in mind. And then yes, we do other presentations. We have a small business startup toolkit. So that's a great presentation that'll just walk you through the steps on how to obtain a tax ID number or an EIN, how to register or file your entity documents with your Secretary of State and the fees that go into that. We also have a webinar presentation that's just goes over the different business entity types. So going back to one of the questions that we had, an LLC, sole proprietorship, corporation, we talk about the differences and the pros and cons, and which entity type would be best for you. You can check those out on our website as well. Those are great questions.
I have one that came in here on my end, Morgan. They are asking, you mentioned auto books. Is that available to all credit union members, or do you have to have a business account?
So that is specifically for our business account members. And once you establish a business account with American Airlines Credit Union, you'll enroll in our online banking services. And the auto books, it's actually a third party bookkeeping platform software that go ahead and it just integrates into your business savings and checking account. And it's a really great tool to track transactions, growth. It's kind of similar to maybe a QuickBooks that maybe a lot of us have heard about, but it's one that we recommend, and it's also just already connected through our online banking. Great question.
Yeah, I don't see any other questions in the queue right now, Morgan, but if any of our attendees have one, we will go ahead and drop them in the chat and we'll address them before we end today's presentation. So we'll get back to you, Morgan.
Okay, thank you so much. So now I wanted to share more information about the credit union, what we have to offer for your small business banking needs. So here on the screen kind of shows you some information about the credit union. I always like to let our members know, or potential new members, that compared to the big banks, just keep us in mind and open as an option for your small business bank account. We typically have less fees, less minimum balance requirements. That's kind of all part of being a member of the credit union. So I just wanted to share that information with you. We offer business savings and business checking accounts. Also, once you have your account established with us, we also offer business loan servicing. So business loans for vehicles, equipment, lines of credit. We also offer business credit cards at the credit union, real estate loans for business purposes. So once your business is established and progressing, you can look into those options to help grow your small business as well. So definitely keep us open as an option. There's our business services deposits at aacreditunion.org. You can reach us via email. We'll respond with questions or the application. Also, feel free to give us a call directly. One of our small business banking representatives, myself, or one of my amazing coworkers can speak with you and answer any questions that you may have.